Hello everyone, it's Barrister Faith Abade here again where we talk about real estate business. And with me today are two very important personalities from Mirror Homes Investment Limited. On my right is the MD and CEO of the company, Mr. Samuel Moma. And then on my left is the sales manager, Mr. Olusegun Francis. Whenever I'm here, you know I'm here bearing good news. The first time we launched Mirror Homes Resorts and Farms 1, it was 100% completely sold out. And now we're here again launching the Mirror Homes Resort and Farms 2. And my important guest will be telling you more about the property. So let's go. So my first question goes to Mr. Samuel. Why Mirror Homes Resort and Farms 2?
Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction. Yeah, that's the big ask. Why MH Resorts and Farms? Well, if you check the trend, like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, many people were overlooking agriculture. But if you check the trend now, agriculture is becoming a major player in the Nigerian sector, and agriculture is still an aspect of real estate. So we can still say in the real estate sector, agriculture is beginning to experience some level of boom. I had an inspection with a client who wants to buy a property worth about 120 million, and guess what he's into? Agriculture. So now there is much demand for agriculture as the population of Nigeria is increasing. So we do not even have enough to feed ourselves, not to now talk of exportation. And most of our agricultural produce still get exported. So I've also had this innermost desire, passion for agriculture from a young age because I engaged in farming while growing up. Once in a while here in Lagos, K Farm, Okoba, our dad takes us to farmland. So I've always had this passion for farming from an early childhood. So we've had series of farm projects. The first one, Vacation City, didn't turn out so well, but the second and the third, we've been able to learn from our mistakes, and they've been doing very well in terms of the agricultural sector. So we carried out a lot of research and looked for a location where we could go into large-scale agriculture, and that's how we came about MH Resort 2, where we are going to be farming palm oil and plantain, which is already very much domiciled within this axis already.
Thank you very much for that brief response. You spoke about location. I understand MH Resort and Farms 1 is located at Kobakpe. Is the location for MH Resort and Farm 2 close to it? That's very close to, say, the same place at Kobakpe, or maybe a different location? I would like to pass this question to Mr. Shegun.
Okay, thank you, Barrister. You mentioned earlier that you be good, so I'm here to collaborate with it, So, MH Solar Farm, one thing about Mirror Homes Investment Limited I can assure you guys is that we are always advancing and improving on all our products. MH Solar Farm 1 is located in Kobakpe. Yeah, Kobakpe is like some 2 hours drive away from Lagos. But we went back to the drawing board and we strategized, and we got a location that is very, very close to Lagos State, Nigeria. Yeah, the property is located in Aiyepe-Ijebu. Now, Aiyepe-Ijebu is, if you understand the terrain of the boundary between Lagos State and Ogun State, that's from Ikorodu axis, you will know that some part of Shagamu and some part of Odogbolu share close proximity with Ikorodu, and that's the place because we discovered that a majority of our subscribers are from Lagos, and we want to site the property where they will be able to have easy access to it, and that is why we located our MH Resort and Farm 2 in Odogbolu, very close to the famous federal government college, just 5 minutes away, behind what they call Agbowa. If you know Agbowa Ikorodu, between 10, 15, 20 minutes, you're already in the site. And then if you want to take Lagos Shagam Expressway, the size is just, let's say, 30-minute drive away from Ijebu Ode. If you are going to Ijebu Ode, the famous bridge you see after Ososa, if you start counting down time from also sir, down to Odogbolu, it is just 30 minutes. And then if you are coming from Shagamu, within 20-30 minutes also, you are on site. And it's a strategic location because of the accessibility to Lagos State. You can access what's it called, Lagos State from Shagamu, that's Ikorodu, some part of Agbowa, and the extension is this other part of Odogbolu. So it is in a strategic location, 20 minutes away from the Odogbolu junction if you are very close to that axis, and then 30-35 minutes away from Ijebu Ode on that bridge. So it is in a good location. And for those people that really know where Odogbolu is, and then Odogbolu is known for palm tree plantation. We have there's a farm there that is more than 300 hectares. You understand? And then to give you the best of the best news, Odogbolu has a factory used in processing palm kernel. So we went to site that what's it called, our farm close to the processing plant.
Very strategic.
I hope the good news.
Yeah, that is very nice. While you were both speaking, I couldn't help but notice you kept referring to the farm, the kind of plants that were planted. And I can recall vividly, MH Resorts and Farms 1 was all about planting, farming, animal husbandry, as well as a futuristic resort. I would like to know, what is the intention for the farming when it comes to the MH Resorts and Farms 2?
Okay, so in terms of MH Resorts and Farms Phase 2, it's actually planned strictly for crop farming. So the type of houses that we're going to be putting up there will be farmhouses, then a mini resort over time. So we just want a controlled environment where we're only farming two crops, which is palm oil and plantain, because that is what is domiciled within this environment. You have a lot of oil plantation and you also have a lot of plantain. And the soil itself in which we purchase, that is what is already planted on it. So we just want to make it easy, in the sense that in agriculture, it takes a while for crop rotation. So we just want to continue what is already existing on the crop, and we know that, okay, it's already fertile and it will be easy for us to plant this and for our clients to be able to harvest this. So when we say we are selling farmlands, we are not just selling land, but we are going to be planting either palm oil or plantain. So whomever is buying has a decision to make. Do I want to be in the segment for palm oil, or do I want to be in the segment for plantain? So you're just going to have like three segments: the palm oil segment, the plantain segment, then the farmhouse, warehouse, storage segment. And in the future, we're going to consider processing, but for a start, we're just going to farm, harvest, and sell. So you're buying the land with what is on it, which is your decision to make. If you would prefer the palm oil option or you prefer the plantain. So in terms of questions like, oh, can I farm something else? No, you can't farm something else. We're only open to two crop within this particular parcel of land: palm oil and plantains. If you want something else, then it will be another topic entirely. So that's what we are looking at in terms of MH Resource and Farms Phase 2.
You heard it from the horse's mouth himself. It's crystal clear. Just two crops, agriculture. And then, talking about agriculture and two types of crops, plantain and palm oil or palm oil nut, I want to know, Mr. Segun, is there going to be a variation of price as to the type of crop you want, the type of farmland you want to purchase? If someone wants to purchase this particular crop, is the price going to be different from someone that wants to purchase for the second crop?
There's nothing like price variation in MH Resort and Farm 2. We take everything at a flat rate. So if you are buying 1 acre of the palm tree farm, it's 5.5. The same thing applicable to 1 acre of plantain farm. And then you can spread the payment across 4 months. And then the good thing about this project is that when you finish paying, you give us another 3 months to set up your farm properly, make sure that all these things has germinated and they are doing very well. 3 months after we hand it over to you, we are doing that in order to ensure that there is a kind of all the crop germinated at the same rate and they are properly doing very well before we hand it over. Because note that we are not selling land, we are selling farmland, so we need to ensure that the crops are doing well before hand over.
Okay.
Yeah.
In course of your explanation, you had mentioned 1,000 square meters and you also mentioned 1 acre. What is the minimum number of plot that a subscriber can key into?
Okay, so the minimum number of plots the subscriber can into is 1,000 square meter. 1,000 square meter in a layman term is 2 plots. You understand?
Okay.
Sold for 1.9 million naira all inclusive. Meaning that after that 1.9 million naira, there is no other charges. And then for 1 acre, which is 6 plots in layman term, is selling for 5.5 million, and then immediately if you pay, like I said earlier, you get allocated after 3 months, because we need to set up a plan for you.
Thank you so much. I understand they have to spread it across at least for outright payment 4 months. But what can qualify as initial deposits for someone to say to secure his or her interest in the property? What should be the initial deposit for 1,000 square meters and 1 acre?
The initial deposit for 1,000 square meter is 700,000, and the initial deposit for 3,000 square meter is 1.5 million naira. You know, this project is a dream project. Yeah, it's good that you buy and pay outright so that we can begin the process and start everything immediately. So if you are delaying spreading out the payment, it's like delaying the whole process. So
thank you so much for the answers to my questions so far. You've thrown more light on what MH Resorts and Farms entail. And you also spoke about the fact that it's 2 types of crop. It's farming, strictly 2 types of crop. And Mr. Sheg also mentioned around that vicinity, there are different types of agricultural establishments going on. But I'm sure future subscribers would like to know, have a test be carried out on the property to ensure that, yes, these crops can actually grow there, especially in masses, considering this is a mass farming, if I'm not mistakenly.
All right. Yeah, thank you very much. Well, like at the moment, we already have palm trees on the land. We already have plantains on the land. So during the course of our research, that is what that environment is domicile for. 3 crops actually is domicile for palm oil, that's palm trees, plantain, and cocoa. But we scrapped out the cocoa because when we're carrying out our research, we realized that the cocoa market is not actually stable. And if you are producing cocoa, it's mostly to sell to companies who just do the processing and export. So it's not an easy market to go into. So we decided to choose crops that we can control. That is, we could choose to sell the palm trees ourselves upon harvest, or we could choose to process it ourselves without any headache. Then for the plantain, we could also choose to sell plantain ourselves, or we can choose to process it as plantain flour, which is already getting in high demand. So right now on the land, we already have palm trees doing very well and plantain doing very well. Only that now we want to now do it on a larger scale. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. We are in the age and time where the risk surrounding real estate industry, especially in Lagos and Abuja, is now a hot topic. People are now of the view that some people make payments and they get receipts in place of land. So I would like to know, what guarantee should an intended subscriber now hold on to? Is there any guarantee aside? What documents should the person expect, and also what guarantee, what indemnity should cover a subscriber on that plot?
Okay, thank you very, very much. I guess your profession requires you to ask me such question, which is a good one. So it's not just this property. Any property you buy from Aroms Investment Limited, definitely there's an indemnity clause that protects the client should anything go wrong. Like in the past, one of our properties, MH Resort and Farms, now domiciled in Kobakwe, it was initially in Isheyin, Oyo State, but due to distance, due to one or two things that we noticed, that wasn't so, the deal wasn't looking straightforward anymore. We pulled out, and at no extra cost, we moved our clients closer to Lagos at no extra cost and allocated them. We bore all that risk. So that's the type of indemnity clauses that covers our clients. Should anything go south, it's our responsibility to move you to a better location or issue you a full refund, as the case may be. But in terms of this particular property, we actually bought it from a lawyer. So it's one of my best buys because I asked him, based on his profession, sir, any issue here? And as a lawyer, under oath, he cannot give me false information. So in terms of security, we're good to go. And in terms of documentation, once you make an initial deposit, you get your receipt and you get your contract of sale. But by the time you are done with your payments, you get your survey, you get your allocation letter, and you get your deed of assignment on your property, and you get your physical allocation. And he mentioned seeds growing. Well, actually, in terms for people who choose to do palm oil, we're not buying the seeds, we're buying the infant plant itself, the hybrid, and we've already started making our orders already. So let's say by December, we're going to start the transplanting process. So for the first set of subscribers who's going to key into this project, you already have palm oil somewhere growing, waiting to be transplanted upon completion of payment and in readiness for your physical allocation. Thank you.
I can see background work has been done so far, and everyone now is acquainted with the entire process. But I am sure everyone would like to know what maintenance measures is going to be put in place and who bears the cost for maintenance.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's another important question. So in terms of maintenance, so now 5.5 million naira all inclusive. It covers your land, it covers your documentation, it covers borehole, it covers perimeter fencing, then the planting itself for about let's say for the first 3 months after fiscal allocation. So for the rest of the year, we are looking at a scenario where subscribers will pay within a range of 300 to a maximum of 500,000 naira per annum for maintenance fee, as we're going to get a third party, a maintenance company, to ensure that the crops do very well. And this cost will only come in on the first year. So for people who choose palm oil, so what we intend to do from the second year is that we're going to do a bit of cassava on the side because we're using a 3 meter by 3 meter spacing. So there'll be cassava in between. So when the cassava is harvested, it should be able to cover the cost from the second year. So it's most likely going to be a one-off maintenance fee that you're going to pay for a year. Then by second year, the crops harvested should be able to take care of the maintenance fee. Then in terms of yields, another important factor, people are like, okay, what should we expect to make? Now, in terms of this palm oil, we're not doing the long trees, hybrid short trees. So it's projected that from the end of the third year is expected to give you yields, but some other researchers will tell you it might enter into the fourth year. So for your first harvest for palm oil, you'll be looking at making 1.5 minimum. Then from the end of the fourth year, you should be looking at 3 million and above. These are projections given that everything goes according to plan. And for you buying an acre, we're looking at planting 150 palm trees for you. Then in terms of someone buying into the plantain, we're looking at 300 suckers on an acre, 3,000 square meters. And projection for the end of the first year, we're looking at 900,000 naira. Then subsequent years, we're looking at 1.2 million naira. All these are projections. Given all things being equal, the farm goes according to plan, and we don't have any unforeseen issues, which we are not, of course, we are not expecting to have any. So these are the minimum. These figures I'm giving are actually a minimum. It's expected to do more. So it's MH Resort and Farm is born from the idea of, okay, let's have this shift in mentality. Land bank your money in the sense that you buy land, you wait for 5 years, you wait for 10 years for it to grow, which it will eventually do. Then you are able to flip at a more higher price. So now that you're waiting, rather than just wait, start earning from year one on your land, so that time that you're thinking of flipping, you've recouped everything you used in buying a property, and you've started making profits within 5 years. You're just making profits, so it's making your money work for you, which the richest man in Babylon said at least 1/10 of your income should be bringing you extra income. This is the difference between the rich and the wealthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You covered everything. Remain one important thing. Viewers would like to know, what is the title of the property?
Okay, so in terms of title, the land is an agric land. So partly agric, partly residential. We went for an agric land, and while we also went to partly residential, is for us to be able to put our farmhouses. So it's already gazetted by the government for agriculture. So that was the purpose in which we are using it for. So clients will only be getting provisional survey and a deed of assignment, while in the company's name, we're now going to do a registered survey, that is MH Resorts and Farms, on the particular estate. So it's an agric land and partly residential in terms of the title documentation.
There you have it. You have all the information about this new MH Resource and Farms to launch. Would like to know, before we go, if there's any last words from the sales manager himself.
Yeah, nothing much. Is just to tell you that the best way to make money is to put your money to work, and then this is an option for you. So keep into it, and you know it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And in coming videos, we'll keep telling you more about real estate and about our property. So stick around or send us a message. If you have any questions about this property, leave us a comment or send us a DM. Thank you. Bye.